Two, one. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Inside the Puzzle here today with a top four regional deck profile. My boy Denzel has been working on this spice, and he will be telling us about his deck choice and
And
card choices and everything. Denzel, how was your tournament experience today at regionals?
it was actually pretty amazing. Actually, out of all the remote online tournaments I have played, I think Carta Magica have done an excellent job running the tournament. It was very smooth. There was no hiccups. Everything went well. The 9 rounds lasted, about 9 hours, but everything was good. I got nothing to complain about.
That's cool. You want to run us through your
And
matchups?
actually, I did finish top one.
That's pretty good, man.
What was that?
Do you want to run us through your matchups real quick?
Sure. I have it written down right here. Give me 1 second. It's my round one game was a no show. So round one was was free for me. The rest of my matchup is I played against round two. I played against Green. I won that one. Round three I played against a Mirror. I won that one. Round four against Zoro, W. Round five against Green, W. Round six was another mirror match. Surprisingly, I got a W on that. Round seven, I played against Whitebeard. I actually that's the only game I lost today, and that was off of misplay. Like I didn't read the game state well enough where I messed up my down placement, which was able to allow him to block with a radical beam, and all I needed was just one more dawn to put on my guy to kill him for game, which was which was my mistake. Round eight, played against another Whitebeard, which I got the W for that. The last round, round nine, I played against Green and I won.
Well, that's dope, man. Was there like any hard matchups for you today?
Um, I, I, to be honest with you, every deck is easy to play against except red. Red is like kind of like a 50% chance of winning or 40% or sometimes 60%. It all depends on the cards you draw and how they play the game and how you respond to them. That's
Alright.
all it is. It's all about just the way you play the game. That's all it is.
Okay, cool. Show us the deck if you don't mind.
Sure. So I played. For those of you who don't know, I played Zephyr. He is a black. He's a dual color leader, black and purple. One of the new ones from this set. If you don't know his effect, what he does is you take your -4 Dawn to pop to KO a three or less characters that your opponent controls. Right. So here's what I play. First off, the boss monster of the deck, which is the 10-drop Kuzan. This guy is probably one of the most powerful card you could play at 10 drop besides the Kaido 10 drop. And once this guy comes out, you pretty much like steamroll from there on. And this guy actually puts a lot of pressure on a lot of decks once he comes out. Uh, 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 he -5 everybody on board, and on play he kills to zero or less. And he has a perfect synergy with your leader. Since everybody on your opponent's board is -5, a lot of big cards that are on the board, it'll be easier for you to get rid of it. Because of what's the name? Because of your leader. So one of the combos that works perfectly with the leader and the 10-drop Kuzan is for example, let's say a green deck, right? A green deck when they rely on Odin to close out their games. So usually what you do is if you have like a Kuzan on board, like the 4-drop, you could like attack swing for leader and -4 the Odin, and then Odin will be like a 3 cost. Um, and then what you could do is you could drop the Kuzan a 10 drop. It'll automatically kills Odin since Odin is automatically kills Odin. Uh, you drop the Kuzan will -4 him, and then you swing with your leader for damage, and at the same time trigger your leader since Odin is 3 or less. That will kill Odin, and then what's call this? And then you could drop your 10 drop to kill the Okiku that usually follows up after the Odin. Uh, Next I played Sakazuki. This card is probably one of the best card to play at 6 on your curve. This card is technically your answer to annoying early oppressive cards like Okiku or the Law, the 5 drop Law, the 4 drop Yamatos, the rest of your cards. Um, like it helps you get rid of a lot of things. It synergizes well with cards like your the Kuzans or um, it's just it's a very good defensive card and also offensive card. Next, I played 4 Borsalinos. I used to think Queen is like the best blocker in the game until this card came out. This card I think it plays very good against any decks. First, it's a 4 drop, so he's already lower cost than Queen. Sure you don't get the +2 draw, but he's still a blocker, which becomes 6K during your opponent's turn, and at the same time he cannot be KO'd by card effects, which was Queen's biggest weakness. See, in OP1, Queen's biggest weakness is if you play a Queen, usually the turn after that he gets destroyed by like a jet pistol. With Borsellino, you play him, you can't jet pistol him since he cannot be KO'd by card effects. And yeah, that's just it looks simple, but when you're against it, it's really like hard to get over it.
Okay, okay.
Next, I played 4 drop Kuzan, 4 drop Kuzan. Uh, I've seen people play this like a 2 or 3. I think that's wrong. I think you should play this at 4. Only because yeah, sure, it doesn't have a counter or whatever, but he does give you a +1. Like you play him and he replaces himself in your hand, and at the same time, you it helps you get rid of big guys since because when you attack for damage, actually when he's attacking, you could -4 any monsters your opponent is controlling, which then helps you get rid of big monsters with your leader, or helps you you could combo with like cards like Kobe and stuff like that to get rid of oppressive monsters. Uh, Next, I played for Tashigi. Uh, I this card is okay. It's pretty good late game. She's usually just a 2K counter in my hand, but there's some situations where you're trying to KO a card, but and that card could be like a 5 drop and you don't have your Sakazuki. So a Kobe and Tashigi is still 6 drop could get you to KO 5 cost cards like Law, like Yamatos, very easily if you have this 2 in hand if you don't have Sakazuki. Uh, Next I played 4 1 drop Suru. She does pretty much the same thing as Toshigi does. She's a 2K counter. You could play her at 1 cost, which then allows you to -2 your opponent's characters. But I usually just keep her in my hand as a 2K counter. Unless I really want to get rid of something really fast, then I'll play her. Next, I played 3 Garp. Uh, Garp is okay. He's a 2K counter. He has a very good synergy with both the 4 drop Kuzan early on or late game with the 10 drop Kuzan because he KOs 0 cost characters when he attacks. So he makes perfect synergy with Kuzans. But I usually use him for counters. But when I do get a chance, I will summon him late game, and it's easy removal for your board.
I'm assuming because since you have like a floodgate up, you can
Next time,
essentially just control the board with it, and like if they
yeah,
lost the resources, they're kind of behind.
yeah, pretty much. But then sometimes it's dropping him in the early game, especially in this format. There's a lot of cards that gets rid of like 3K or less, or like 2 costs or less. So like I really don't like. The only time I will drop him early is probably against like aggressive decks like Red Zoro, because him and Toshigi or him and Suru or him and anybody that gives you minus cost is usually a good pair up against aggressive decks like Zoro.
Okay, okay, that makes sense.
Um, Next I play three Kobe's. He is basically a mini Sakazuki. He does the same thing as Sakazuki, same cost. The only difference is that he could only KO three or less. But then again, you know, you have cards to help you lower down people's characters' costs. So sometimes in the late game, he could be very impactful. And he's a 1K counter. Sakazuki doesn't have any counter, by the way. And next, I play what might be top three or even maybe top two best event card in the game is Force Shockwave. Uh, I I don't know what else to say about this card. This card is just perfect in every way. It's a perfect card to draw off life. It's a perfect card to defend, you know, your life or your characters. And at the same time, if you do use it to defend your characters, you're also able to pop a KO at 3 costs or less. Or if you could trigger this off your life, you're able to, you know, KO 4 or less, and getting to KO, you know, 3 or less for free, or 4 or less for free is huge, especially in the early game. And now comes the purple guards. Uh, First off, I'm playing this two card. I feel like not many people that are playing this deck are playing, which I think they should start playing, is 7 drop kings. So a lot of people don't like playing this deck only because it's a seven. I mean this card only because it's a 7 drop, and at the same time you do go neg -2 Dawn. But what people don't get is that if you play against aggressive decks, right, like Zoro, um, you want to be able to play cards that'll help you pick up tempo, or that'll help you clear boards and help you, you know, help you slow down the Zoros, because the Zoros are really fast at establishing boards and killing you early. So if you could play like cards like King and get rid of like 2 cards at the same time, punch with your leader, and then possibly trigger and get rid of another card. Sometimes, you know, cards like these is needed for you to help you, you know, gain tempos. Uh, Next, I'm playing probably the second best, maybe third best blocker in the game. Besides, after Borsellino, is Queen. Queen used to be considered as the best blocker, but since Borsellino came out from OP2, I think he kind of took a step back, only because Queen has a very big weakness. So usually in OP1, when you play a Queen, almost 90% of the time, he's gonna get taken care of by like a jet pistol or something. But with Borsellino, you don't got to worry about that because he can't be KO. But he's still good. He's still good at 5 drop. He's sometimes he helps you dig for like counters. He helps you dig for Kuzans if you don't have many Kuzans in your hand. You know what I mean? It helps you stall games. It's pretty good, and he's a 6K beater. You could always swing with him. Next I play 4 ultis. So a lot of decks a lot of the people that play this deck, right? Most of them don't run this card. They would rather run the other card called Jack, which also gives you a ramp up, but at the same time, you do have to trash a card from your hand. The reason why I went for this card instead is because since I'm playing black, right, and a lot of the black power cards require you to trash one card from your hand, like Kobe, like Sakazuki. I didn't want to fill the deck with more cards that will that will eat through your hand resource. Because with this deck, hand resources is really really important. You need to be able to defend yourself because you only have 4 life. You need to be able to defend your characters because you want to push for game. So I feel like Jack will just eat through your. I feel like I'd rather waste the discard on like a Kobe or a Sakazuki instead of a Jack to ramp up. You know what I mean? With her, you can summon her. When your opponent makes you go first, and then you get to your third Dawn for the curve, you could just summon her and use your extra Dawn left over to ramp up and pass your turn, and you'll be at even because you always want to be at even numbers in Dawn for this deck. Next, I played for Sasaki. He's just generic 2K blocker. That's the beauty of having a dual color leaders. You're able to access like 2K counters from other colors and then mix it with the 2K counters from the other color. You know what I mean? So having dual color gives you choices or allows you to have more 2K counters than most other decks do. So he's generic. And you could also ramp up with him if you choose to go to, but I usually just keep him in my hand as a 2K counter. And then last but not least, probably the MVP of this tournament for me, and I probably wouldn't have gotten top 4 if I did not run this card in my deck. Um, and I don't see all the Z players that I've seen. They don't run this card, and do not know why. Because if you want to win against Zoro and other aggressive decks, you have to play this card, and trust me on that. And that will be Hell's Judgment.
That
I
is the new
believe
spice.
this is probably yes, it is. I believe this is one of the top 3 events, followed by Shockwave. Uh, what this card gives you, this card does a lot of things for you. It could stall for you. It could protect your characters. It could protect your life. Um, it could stop your opponents from it could make your opponent's dons a waste. Let's say they put like a 3 don on a like a four 4K powered monster, and you use this. It's just like you just wasted 3 dons. Like there's so much ways you could play this card. It helps you stall for turns too. So if you want to like wait to get your Kuzan drop, you'll drop this. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say. It just minus 3K on 2 things. It could be leader, it could be character. And a lot of people don't get that. That's 3K is a lot. It's really big. 3K is really big to lose on anything. Because then that's gonna require you to put up 3K if you want to more 3K more if you want to swing with it. You know what I mean? Especially with a 5K leader. If you use this on a 5K leader, most of the time you won't be able to um, they won't be able to attack again because they don't want to waste the Don. And yeah, that's about it.
So, just out of curiosity, do you think this is the best deck of the format?
Sure. Do I think it's the best deck in the format? Uh, I do not believe it's the best deck, but I do believe it's how do I put this? It's the best deck in the format if Red Zoro didn't exist. I'll put it like that. Because your Red Zoro matchups is not easy. I did go 2-1 against Red decks today. And the only loss I got was from a Red Whitebeard. I somehow won against Red Zoro only because I drew Hell's Judgment and King, which gave me a chance to stall and save some life cards. But yeah, if Zoro didn't exist in the format right now, this will probably be the best deck. A lot of people consider green as the best deck of the format since it's a really good matchup against Zoro and other decks out there. But against this deck, green versus this deck, it's almost free. Like there's no way you could lose to green if you're using this deck. As you can see, I won every single green match I played, and none of them gave me a struggle. It was just every time they took something out, they put something on the board, I got rid of it like ASAP. Because the thing about with green matchup is all the characters they put on board are always playing to our curve. What I mean by that is they'll drop a Kiku and then you'll drop a Kobe to answer it, and you'll have a body and they won't. Or they'll drop a Yamato and then you'll drop your Sakazuki and you'll have a body and they won't. So it's always that kind of back and forth with them, and you'll never be behind playing behind them because you're always gonna get rid of whatever's on their board.
That makes
I think that's
sense.
the only reason why it's good against green is because every card they drop is good for you on curve.
That's good. Any final words, remarks, and shout outs that you'd like to give today?
Uh, well, I just want to shout out all my friends who play tested with me this week. We did a lot of heavy play testing, especially with red decks. Also shout out to my locals, Xenos and Gamers Choice. And also shout out to Tevin. I won't forget you, Tevin. He lent me a Kuzan because I couldn't find a Kuzan last minute and a Borsalino. So if it wasn't for Tevin, I wouldn't be here.
That's really cool, man. Well, thank you, Denzel, for blessing us with this gracious deck profile and in depth.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, man. Inside the puzzle out. Hit that like and subscribe button.